Watch. Meanwhile, the Biden team is giving conflicting statements on whether their climate change plan would mean sacrifice for workers after the president shut down the Keystone pipeline. Watch.
The most exciting thing about this is that we're not asking for sacrifice here. The president fully understands that people are suffering now. So this is all about recovering from the COVID crisis.
I think the president's plan of building back better, which would create more jobs in energy, clean energy, than the jobs that might be sacrificed. But I will say this, we don't want to see any jobs sacrificed.
They closed down the Keystone pipeline. Joining me now, Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida. First of all, Senator, I want to get your response to what you just heard.
Well, they're disingenuous. I mean, Joe Biden doesn't care about your job. He doesn't care about the people that need to get back to work. I mean, he's a puppet for the radical left. And you can do both. You can say, I want to take care of the environment, and I want to add jobs. And actually, you can't take care of the environment if you don't take care of jobs, because there's no money to do it. But this radical left agenda with no focus on jobs is going to hurt family after family in this country. I grew up in a family struggling for work. A lot of us did. We want to make sure our family members are working. Joe Biden and his administration, they don't care. I've asked their nominees about it. They have, they have these platitudes, but when you ask them about any numbers, any rationale, they have none. They just said, well, we've got to do this. So they don't care about jobs. I mean, this is not going to unify our country. He has gone off a deep end, but probably he's going to make somebody like AOC happy.
You know, you're looking at the political side of it, and I'm thinking, is there anything else that could be at play here? Like maybe they don't know what they're doing, because when you lay off pipeline workers to the tune of 11,000 people, there is collateral damage in that. There are communities around those pipelines, workers and their families that are there. I mean, this is more than politics now. This is, are you even aware of what your decisions can do?
Harris, I've been talking to their nominees. They have no plan. They have, I mean, I asked one yesterday, I said, I said, what's your goal at the end of 2 years? And the goal was not about jobs. It was about, I hope people understand the data. I want jobs. I mean, I knew my job as the governor of Florida, get people a job, get their kids a good education, keep them in a safe community. It was measurable. When we added 1.7 million jobs while I was governor, guess what? 1.7 million people got a job. You can measure that stuff. They can't, if you talk to the Obama administration, they can't, or the Biden administration, they don't have a measurement for anything. They have no goal. Do you have, I mean, if you were coming into this economy now, you say, my goal is to add a certain number of jobs, get the unemployment rate down to 5%, pay off, get rid of all this debt, stop having all these deficits. They have none of those. They have this radical left agenda that has nothing to do with helping your family lead a better life. I'm really worried for this country and the people that are struggling for work right now because of what Biden's doing.
Real quickly, Hillary Clinton tweeted yesterday, 3 weeks ago, Donald Trump incited a violent mob to attack Congress and stop the peaceful transition of power. 5 people died, including a Capitol policeman. Yesterday, all but 5 GOP senators voted for Trump to get away with it. Just a quick reaction, and we'll move on.
First off, Harris, anybody that broke in, they ought to be held accountable. They clearly ought to be held accountable. All right, but let's go forward. Let's focus on where we want to go. We've got to get this economy going again. We've got to make sure we balance our budget. We've got to make sure we get people the vaccine. That's what we ought to be doing every day, not this political theater about the prior president. Let's get going with how do we help American families. But the Democrats, they have lost it. That's not what they care about at all up here.
Well, it's interesting. I always say that the longer a deal cools, the harder it is to make. It'll be interesting to see if some of those Democrats, after a couple of weeks, don't start to see that you can't help the president get his agenda done if you're doing that 1 o'clock at every day, 6 days a week. Senator Scott, thank you very much. Great state of Florida. Good to have you today.
Nice seeing you. Bye-bye.